Okay, so we're facing a Grixis control build. Nicobolus Dragon God. Sorry, God Pharaoh. If we can get the Skrelv's Hive out, this should be pretty good, because this is amazing versus control, because they need to have multiple sources of removal to take this out. It's not impossible. Black does have quite a lot of enchantment removal now. Thought Erasure. I mean, what else did we expect from a deck like this? There's going to be a lot of hand disruption here. We have two ways to deal with the bolus, but the irony is, if they resolve this bolus, we're not going to have a hand. So, okay, we'll just get rid of a land, I suppose. Man, they're just crippling our hand here. It's a very, very difficult deck to deal with. Because they just deplete your hand so much. In 1v1, it's very brutal. Any Planeswalker that's this large is going to be a nightmare to deal with. Okay, let's go to combat. They could have some kind of defensive spell, maybe? Vraska's Contempt. That is a shame, because we had priority earlier to just flip her, but I suppose they could have exiled her in response anyway. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference. Yeah, because if we just paid 3, we would have actually lost 3 creatures. So in a way, we did the right thing, because otherwise it would have been a lot worse. Cold Steel Heart. I mean, they already have 3 Infect. Let's take care of the blocker here. I do wonder if we're just going to win with Infect. That would be pretty funny, to be honest. Okay, let's try it again. If they board wipe, then so be it. They would have done it anyway, right? Because we're at lethal next turn, so they have to board wipe or they will just die, I think. Mind Flayer, gaining control of the Elesh Norn. That's interesting. Don't we just win here? I think. Well, we don't win, but yeah, we can exile the Mind Flayer. We get Elesh Norn back and swing for yeah. That felt pretty good, to be honest. Taking out a Grixis bonus player with a mono white deck. So interestingly, this Praetor has probably the most diverse amount of ways you can go in, because her main body of text, which says whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or opponent you control, they lose 2 life unless they pay 1. So it's a very taxing ability. So you can go in that direction. You can make death and taxes, or you could go in the token direction, which is sack 3 other creatures and then you flip her. Interestingly, this is a lot like the Dominus cycle that came before, where you have to do something negative to get something positive. Sacking 3 creatures is a lot. It's quite the feat, but if you're not doing it, you're not getting the full potential from Elesh Norn. Rather flavoursomely, it costs 7 mana to do the cast and the activate ability, which is like just her original casting cost. I don't know if that was intentional, but when you flip her, you get to incubate 2 5 times, which is a bit weird sentence. So you create 5 incubate tokens and then you flip them. So you basically get a 10-10 divided 5 ways. And the phase 2, creatures you control get +1/+1, double strike on turn. That normally is just a game-ending ability. And then the phase 3, destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. So she will clear the entire field apart from your utility and your Phyrexians. So really powerful, and then she flips back to Elesh Norn again. So there's a lot to take in there. A lot of different ways to do the deck. I went in a token strategy build, which is quite common, of mono white and Elesh Norn. So you might have seen a lot of these pieces before. We've got stuff like White Sun's Twilight, which is interesting. You get X life, create X mites with Toxic 1, and they can't block. And if X is 5 or more, destroy other creatures. So this is useful to give you lots of tokens, blow up the field. You've got Skrelv's Hive, which is nice as well, to give you a token each turn, which is useful because you want to sack it with the Elesh Norn. And we also have an interesting one. This is by Elspeth's command. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, you choose one that wasn't chosen during your last combat. So you can give a soldier +1/+1 flying on the field. Give a soldier in your hand +1/+1 vigilance. And also you can create a soldier. So it's a bit slow, but it does rack up. And eventually you can get yourself a pretty decent attack force. Every little helps. And whenever you're getting lots of little creatures, you'll be drawing cards with Tokasia's Welcome. You've also got Wedding Announcement to draw cards, and Welcoming Vampire, all nice additions. I was trying to find something that did double duty, and In the Trenches is definitely that. I think Anthem effects have come a really long way. Back in the day, you'd probably pay 3 mana for an Anthem effect that would just give your whole team +1/+1, but now they've gone Mythic, and now you can actually exile something underneath In the Trenches for 6 mana as well. And it's pretty interesting ability, because you want to be increasing your tokens' power and toughness anyway, but then you can get rid of something, so it's quite useful. One thing I found that was a slightly weak side of the deck. When she flips, you can't always get the phases as quickly as you want them. So if you've got a couple ways to proliferate, like Staff of Completion lets you put extra counters on things with counters. If you accelerate the Saga and you get these abilities out fast, then you should be winning a lot faster as well. There's all sorts of stuff in the deck that cares about dying as well. So you've got AO, the Dawn Sky, when it dies. You get a bonus, and that's because obviously Elesh Norn wants to sack the things. And also got Weatherlight completed, when stuff dies, scry, and then you'll eventually draw cards. So there's a lot of layers. It's actually quite a complex deck, to be honest. But yeah, I hope you enjoy watching the gameplay today. The deck list will be in the description below. Don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps. Let's get into the games. Okay, so we're facing Garuda. Any starting hand with these 3 and a Basri, it's going to be good. We've got the Infect, sort of, what is this, like a Lord? Defectomite gives Infect, so it's going to be useful, especially that early. Turn 1 is always a great time to drop this. It could have any kind of removal though, of course. Bone Shards, discarding a card to kill it. Now, they might even have a way to reanimate. So, seeing that in the graveyard is a bit concerning. They obviously respect the power of the Skrelv to kill it that soon, and it would have been nice to get the Sentinel out here, but alas. Okay, so now we can go for the Basri Ket, hopefully. Unless they counter it. And ticking up is just going to be the way forward here. Because if we get to the ultimate, I think we just win the game. And against the Dimir deck, pretty good. Right, let's go for the Sentinel first, because then if we put a counter on the Sentinel, they're going to have to start paying 2 mana for each non-creature spell they cast. They could have a kill spell right now, which would be a shame. Fatal Push. Damn it. Damn it, damn it. But we do get to resolve a Staff of Completion, which means we can proliferate, and then we could just win the game next turn. And also they've got an Infect counter now. And they can't counter it because this is going to come in tapped. Wow, this is actually a God Hand scenario here. Mono White definitely has its moments. It really does. And so yeah, we don't want to go for the Selfless Save. We want to proliferate ideally, or draw a card, depending on the situation, see what they do here. Because if we proliferate and get Basri to ultimate, I don't know how they're going to get back unless they stifle it. Dark Ritual, so they're desperate, I think. 3, 4, 5 mana they have. They can't cast Garuda, so I wonder what it's going to be here. They're going to reanimate the, I knew it, they're going to reanimate the Demon of Dark Schemes. Okay, so that will be a Massacre Worm, sort of. If we proliferate here, we do keep this and the Basri Ket, and we get to give them a poison counter. Okay, okay. So it's kind of scary how yeah, it's got haste as well. So that is annoying. That is annoying. Interesting. The Serra Paragon can recast the Basri Ket later on. Do we go for the Serra Paragon first? Yeah, I think so, because then we can just cast the Basri... Oh, we've got the Sentinel, actually. I think we'll do that to try and get some more cards. I should probably be focusing more on the proliferation here, but I want to try and set up some support networks here. We need to get more cards. We need to play more lands. Going for Basri Ket. We can block it, but I don't think that's a good idea. I have a feeling they're going to have a wipe or some kind of mass removal here, because otherwise why would they just... Oh, okay. They're going to wipe out our team again. That is a real shame here. That is a real shame. So they can do that every single turn. They can do that every single freaking turn. Basri Cat. Okay, let's go Basri Cat. We can try and prevent our team from just getting absolutely wiped here. There's a few ways we can stop them.
I will guard your advance.
Okay, Selfless Savior is just gonna get slaughtered, right? So there's no point doing that yet. So every turn they're gonna flicker. This is gross, actually. So if we proliferate now, this is going to be a 5-4 swing in, and then we can play the dog. So actually, this is probably a good move. Let's proliferate here. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why it didn't let me choose. Oh no, because it will give them energy as well. From a graveyard on the battlefield tapped. Oh no, that's not good. Because that means they could get this. Oh, it's only a Skrelv though. Yeah, proliferate's changed now, so you have to give them a counter of each type. Yeah, you can't just select what you want. But if we swing... If we swing... No, I think we leave it back, actually. Yeah, we'll leave it back. Proliferation costs 3 life a turn, so we have to be cautious because we're also losing 1 with the Skrelv's Hive each turn. But if we can keep Basri alive again, which we should be able to, because we've got the Selfless Savior, sack it to give the Paragon Indestructible. Let's see what they do here. So we might as well do this. So they're going to get... They've got so much energy now, they can just start reviving stuff left, right and centre. Pay 3, revive something. So they can get back the Selfless Savior if they want to. Infernal Grasp. Damn, that's such a shame, because then they can resurrect it as well. Okay. That is a dick move, but I guess they had to do it. Okay, so we can... Yeah, we'll proliferate. We're going to go for the ultimate of Basri here. Give them poison as well. Right. Show him who's boss. They're going to want to start thinking about blocking soon because this Phyrexian Might now has lifelink as well. So, damn, that's really good. Down to 8, gain 6. So even if they revive something, they have to pay 3 to get it back. 8 energy. Null Priest. So now they're just desperate for blockers. But they are in a lot of trouble. They are in a lot of trouble, even though they killed 2 of our creatures every single turn. Oh, it even kills their own, so that was silly. Yeah, I think that's just made it even worse for them. Okay, go to combat. Let's swing in. And then we can respond to the blocks by proliferating. Cheeky. Very cheeky. They deserve this. They really do. Yep, sorry, that Basri ultimate, guys. Don't overlook that. It is literally game-winning for a 3-man Planeswalker. Incredible. Hi guys, it's one of those videos again where I wasn't really sure what to do, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll see what's happening here. But essentially this video reminds me a lot like Emrakul for a few reasons. Firstly, the win rate is incredibly low. I'd say the win rate is probably 20% or less. Now, the first two games in the video were wins, but they were very hard fought and they're very far and few between. So I think it would be a disservice to make a video and say it's fantastic and not tell you as my audience what's good and what's bad, because I feel that's my job to inform people. And it saddens me because I have a thing in me where I want to make the best even out of the not as great commanders. And it's deceptive, right? Because we all look at Elesh Norn and we think, oh my goodness, she's the figure of the set. She's the forefront figure of the set, character, massive story character, okay? But the issue is that she's a mono white general, and for most mono white generals these days, they are better within the 99, so within the deck itself, and not the commander. The reason for that is she just doesn't do anything, right? So she comes in. She's a 3/5. She has what you would call a tax ability, but it's optional. The opponent can just pay 1 to stop the damage, not hitting them anyway. So, you know, so you're paying 4 mana for 3/5 vigilance, and then you need 3 other creatures to flip her. So I think she is by far the worst Praetor out of the new bunch, which makes a difference because she was the best in the last set. So you're paying 4 mana for 3/5, does nothing. You need to sacrifice 3 other creatures before she even comes out to, you know, get her ability off. If you just play her out with nothing else in the field, she's just a beat stick. She's just not going to do anything. You have to establish the field, get 3 creatures out before she comes down, and then lose all that value to get 5 2/1s that are vanilla, essentially. That's the gist of it. For 7 mana, that's what you get, flipper. But this is just a really bad deck. And I think I built it in a way that would be pretty good. I've built other mono white shells that worked quite well. And maybe you could make it in a different way. I'm not saying that she's awful in general. I just think I can't build her in a way that feels valuable or important, and I just don't think it would be a service to you to tell you to craft this deck. I wouldn't craft this deck. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Do not craft this deck. Just follow my example and you put her in the 99 of other decks. I think she's good as just a single one-off piece to just get a bit of random value here and there, and maybe get the ultimate. But, you know, if she's your general and she just dies. You play her, she dies. You play her, she dies. This is indicative of the format. The format has power crept itself up to ridiculous levels now, where even a mythic with 4, 5, 7, 6, 7 paragraphs like this card, it just doesn't cut the mustard. Even when you flip it, it doesn't feel good, right? Because you're replacing 4 creatures for 5 2/2s. Think about that for a second. You're losing Elesh Norn because she becomes the Saga, and 3 creatures. And even if those 3 creatures were 1/1s that you made, you still put time and effort into making them establish in the field. And now you have 5 2/2s, okay? That's the baseline of this card for 7 mana. I think the framework's good. I think the components are good. But the other annoying thing is the deck has a lot of synergy. My build has synergy with stuff like Anointed Procession, right? So here's the dilemma. The card, and it doesn't just apply to Elesh Norn, it applies to most token strategies or anything that requires an A and a B to work, right? So Anointed Procession requires you to have a token generator out. But if your general doesn't make tokens very easily, aka 7 mana sack for 3 to 4 creatures basically, I don't think that really makes Anointed Procession very good, even if you have loads of other cards in the deck to create them, because you're not having the consistency. And you could argue that you don't have to win every game to enjoy it. And yes, that's true. But if you're not winning any games, and I'd say 80% loss is really just not fun, right? Nobody wants to lose that much. It's just, and you know it and I know it, because why would people play Attractor all the time? Because Attractor's win rate is so high. Both of the Attractors, Rusko, Ragavan, so high. And you know what else is strange? I haven't seen a single other person use Elesh Norn, I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2 actually, maybe 1 or 2, but that's still super low considering the formats. I've played a lot of games since this set's come out. So yeah, it's the same as the Emrakul scenario. If you're intrigued, find that video and see. I've got a similar outlook on that one, where I didn't win a single game with Emrakul, and with this Elesh Norn, yeah. So it just saddens me to tell you, but I'm not going to go out of my way to hunt wins for a deck that I don't think I can, you know, make work. And it shouldn't be this much pain, to be honest. I need to be realistic with myself, with the limited time I have, and your time as well. If you don't like this video, I do apologize. I'm sorry. It's just not for you. It's not even for me. But it's just a lesson. And I thought the Elesh Norn would end the new Praetors in a cool different way, but it's slightly anticlimactic, unfortunately, in this instance. Who knows? Maybe Elesh Norn will come back from the dead and be a better card to use in 1v1. But by all means, in Commander, fantastic, because it's multiplayer. In the 99, probably really good. But as the commander, I would avoid this. I just really would. I actually think Myral's better, because at least Myral doesn't actually lose things to gain things. And I think they were terrified. I think R&D were terrified of this card being too good. Sacking 3 other creatures is unbelievable. You look at one of the best sack cards of all time, Corval, the Jund Dragon. Comes in, sack a permanent, draw a card. Elesh Norn doesn't even draw you any cards. You're losing 3 things. And with that, that's my final review of this deck. And sorry I couldn't bring you more gameplay, but it was just too painful to lose so many games, and I hope you understand. So maybe in the next video we'll get a bit luckier with our win streaks, and just in more interesting gameplay, but I'm sure you don't want to see me just getting trounced over and over again. So until next time, guys, see you later. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.